Okay, we have a difficult three blank text completion here with a lot of big words in both the sentence itself or the sentences themselves and the answer choices. So we want to be careful not to get overburdened with these words and fall into the quagmire, as it were, of the sentence. So we have to pick out the important words and break down meaning. What is going on here, basically, in our own words? So there's this poet, and he has this reputation for something. And in general, he has this moral vision that is imperiously unsparing. So you can say, okay, this guy has a harsh moral vision. That's the first thing we could do in breaking this down. And then it says, of late, his almost belligerent demands of his severe and densely forbidding poetry. So harsh, now you can see, his poetry is severe and harsh, and also forbidding. And the connotation is like similar to, wow, that's some really tough poetry to understand. So severe, it's harsh, and forbidding. So people are intimidated by his poetry. And then it goes on to say, this new collection is the poet's fourth book in 6 years. An ample output. And I want to make sure to notice where it says an improbable turn as well. So unlikely, because all of a sudden it's saying he is writing a lot of poems. And this is surprising because not only do people who are usually happy poets or poets of a sunny disposition, but for someone like him who is what sort of poet? And I think there it's a good place to put in our own word now for the second blank. And of course you can come back to the first blank after this and then fill in the third blank. So for the second blank, for one of such what? Well, we know he has a harsh moral vision. And so we match that up here with answer choice B for the second blank, which is penitential austerity. Again, don't get tripped up or intimidated by these forbidding answer choices, but focus on what you know. Austere, harsh, austerity, noun form of that. So there's our answer for the second blank. Now going back to the first blank, well, what does he have a well-earned reputation for? Well, for being harsh or severe, as well as having forbidding or difficult poetry. So for the first blank, we can say, well, he has difficult poetry, it's almost impenetrable. So near impenetrability, answer choice C. And then finally for the third blank, yet for all his newfound blank, his poetry is as thorny as ever, thorny and forbidding, difficult to understand, impenetrable, yet for all his newfound what? Well, all of a sudden he's writing lots of poems. So what's he doing? Well, let's go through each of those answer choices for the third blank. Taciturn is not saying much. He's saying a lot. He has this ample output. So G is out. And then volubility. If you're voluble, you're saying a lot, which is perfect because he's writing so much poetry, even if it's thorny as ever. And pellucidity just means clear or lucid, but there are no context clues for that. And there are our three answers.